Haredi rabbi. He was a gur rabbi. And I told him, Agiten morgen. And he was in shock. He stopped everything and he saw me like this. Oy weiß mir, a Schwarzer at Yiddish. And I told him, Ich bin a Yid. So, Baruch Hashem.
It's overwhelming for me to look across the room because I know a little bit about most of you. People here are making history. SELAH is making history. It's an honor to be doing this mission with SELAH, and honestly, it's an honor to have, all the time I spend with Micha Feldman is just an honor and a blessing. We want to challenge you to learn. We want to challenge you to be witness to the history of the Ethiopian Jews and to share what you're about to experience with the rest of the world, because most of the world does not understand what we are about to see.
The Ethiopian Jews started the march to Sudan, and we are now standing on one of the paths that were used. Some of them walked 100 miles to get here, and then another 100 miles to get to Sudan. They didn't even walk during the day because it was illegal. Now, these are no soldiers. These are families with children and old people. The police, the army were ambushing them.
The Ethiopians who had the emunah, the faith, to say, here I was separated from my people for 2,000 years, and I'm going to walk to Jerusalem. If that's not the definition of some kind of strength, I don't know what is.
Had I only had the opportunity to fly halfway around the world to see the beautiful Simeon Mountains and understand the trek that Orly and David and others had made, Dayenu.
And to know and to share with the world that there was a Jewish community for thousands of years that was not connected, but never lost their hope and their connection to return to Jerusalem, I would never have the strength to do what Orly and David did.
We didn't know how long the walking would take. It was very hot. There were no bathrooms. We didn't get to eat until 3. And I don't think a single person complained. So you're all...
And we're Jewish.
I forgot about that. Thank you all for being wonderful non-complainers. Scott has an ankle that's injured. He was able to get on a mule. Those options were not available for families that had babies strapped to their backs. A lot of them were ripped off by criminals and killed along the way and then just didn't make it.
Do not be silent or cease to mourn until the day comes and the promise will be fulfilled. Israel will return to its holy land.
So this is the synagogue, the only stone building in the village.
Because we're all together and we've lived to see this season, and we are Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, 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 Am Yisrael Chai. O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu Chai.
Back on your life growing up here now, would you say that those were wonderful days? You look back on your childhood, that you were happy, that you were fulfilled, and that it was a wonderful life here for both of you?
A wonderful life. If you don't know anything about the outside world, whatever you have makes you happy. We are very happy people here, We didn't know, look at these kids. So just put me there. I was one of them. Look how happy they are.
פעם ראשונה חזרתי לאתיופיה, וההרגשה שלי שאני עומד עכשיו ליד כיתה ג' אחת, כאילו עכשיו יש לי את החשק להיכנס, לשבת וללמוד. אשכרה, ממש.
Ulu jam bogat li gjoqin a qohim je lejla bota dhe gmo. Man je vajnije li gjro. Vajnije.
When I think about the Jewish people, we are increasingly fragmented and polarized, not only in Israel, but in the diaspora as well. And SELAH is the embodiment of oneness, the oneness of the Jewish people, taking care of and being responsible for each other, whether we are black, whether we are white, whether we are halakhically Jewish, or whether we desire to be Jewish, or whether the rabbinate considers us to be Jewish.
The challenge the Ethiopians had to face getting to Israel. Well, what happened when they got to Israel, and that's really why we're all here. Many families came, but lost loved ones along the way. Part of this mission is to understand the work that SELAH does supporting the families in Israel.
You're happy, you're moving to a new apartment, all the excitement. On the other hand, your mother is sick. Well, how do you deal with that? You have no father, no mother, you even think to commit suicide. And here comes this man. What is to expect from him?
אני מסלע והסביר לנו, ארגון סלע הסביר לנו ממש לעומק.
And now I can say that we have a second family, which is SELAH.
And when we heard that you were going to be here and on this trip, there was no way we weren't coming to meet you. And we too will be part of your family.
פשוט?
גם אני
The first night of sitting next to him, and I told him after 10 minutes, I knew this man is special.
One day when he came home from the army, the street was closed, and then they start beating him. One policeman and then another one came. This initiated the protest of the Ethiopian community in Israel.
What happens to one Jewish person anywhere in the world affects all of us everywhere. I cannot accept that young people like you come to Israel and they face discrimination and hardship, and the legitimacy of their Judaism is questioned. And so we all have a long way to go, and we all have a role to play in ensuring that this story plays out in a way that is reflective of Jewish values and of our obligations.
Tamer Muluye, who has known the Mass for a longer time because they belong to the group of orphans that are raised by their older siblings. 14 years I've known SELAH. My younger brother turned 13 and he wanted to celebrate Bar Mitzvah. And at the end of the day, with the help of SELAH, he got a Bar Mitzvah like all the children in his class. God has taken away my parents, but I'm grateful that we have known in SELAH. Micha is like Abba. Instead of falling down, I get stronger.
Guy with the biggest smile I've ever seen, which is not what you necessarily know from the news reports. And the message I always come back to with all the problems and all the challenges, the Ethiopian Aliyah is an amazing success story. And just look around the room, and the people are here, and I think it explains itself.
SELAH has a program that brings orphans together, and unfortunately there are many Ethiopian orphans in Israel. We're here for SELAH, and the cases that they have are ongoing, the critically important efforts that they're making to help make this whole Aliyah a success. If it's not a success, it's very bad for the entire Israel, for the greater Jewish world. We all need to make them succeed.
Gifts to the poor, because we should remember that our Masoret, our tradition, have brought us where we are today. And it's not by our faith, but it's by the destiny that we've created. If brother shows no compassion to brother, who will show compassion to him? And unto whom shall the poor of Israel raise their eyes? Unto the heathens who hate them and persecute them? Their eyes are therefore uplifted solely to their brethren.
And you see the number of immigrants, who are today part of the country. This country would not have been what it is today without the immigration. Different colors, different culture, different manners, different history, but really every one of these pieces are part of Israel today.
To meet a group like you that from the first moment is committed to learn, to ask questions, to express their thoughts, understanding what it is all about when we bring Ethiopian Jews and other Jews from over the world and they are struck by crisis and tragedy, you understand that it's important to support them. So I'm sure that we can rely on you when we talk to you in the future about supporting SELAH.
Because now the hard work begins. To share those stories, because if we don't share and we don't communicate and we don't take action and we don't find a way to bring others into the fold of understanding, if not to bring them here, it's all for naught.
I knew we had an all-star team of people, of wonderful human beings on this trip, and I wasn't disappointed, and I know now that you all feel as I do about this cause. I want to ask you to share with me this challenge to spread the word, be ambassadors for the cause, and to do what you can wherever you come from and within your means, because without the financial resources, SELAH cannot accomplish as much as they need to accomplish. I hope that you will consider doing something substantial.